Well, hey, welcome everybody to another episode of Tech Tip Tuesday. My name's Ken Close, Healy World Member USA. Engineering is my background and pioneering Healy is my foreground. So I'm happy to be here with you guys, and I'm joined by our awesome co-host, Jake Barron, Head of Operations USA and Americas. Hey, Jake, how you doing?
Good evening, everyone. Doing great, Ken.
Hi there. And we have, as usual, a live representative in the chat from our customer service department tonight. It is Dongni joining us. Yes, is that correct?
Yes, this Dongni. She does a great job on our tech support team. Happy to have her on the call.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for being here. So everybody say hi to Dongni in the chat, and let's get this party started. So if you guys are brand new to Tech Tip Tuesday, I'm super glad you're here. Thank you very much. If you're not, you know what it's like. But here's what we do. This is a chat-based forum, pretty open as far as the content. Whatever your question is what we want to answer. So what we can't do is we can't really talk about any diagnosis or medical conditions, symptoms or diseases or disorders. So we have some resources that we can help you guys find answers in that realm if that's some of your questions. But other than that, we will talk about the apps, the technology, the theory, operations, whether it be the MagHealy or the Healy or any of the apps, even the databases. I mean, we've talked about all kinds of stuff here. So you guys put the questions in the chat, you guide the content, and we will come up with solutions. How about that? Sound fun?
Sounds fun to me.
All right. Well, let's see what we got going on. Anybody got any questions? I see some good evenings. There's Dongni saying, welcome everybody. Let's see. Here's a question about Amygdalin. Is that in the Essential Elements program? That's a good question. Let's see. Can we look that up?
Um,
I don't know.
I'm trying to think where.
If we go to the Blue app, here's a little trick, guys.
Yeah.
If you go to the database in which you have a question around, all right, so that's going to be in the Blue app. If you're looking at you've got the different databases there. There's one that's called the resonance database. All right, so tap on the plus button, go down to vital substances, right? There's 76 items in there, right? So next to the name of the database, there's a number in parentheses. And it's whatever that number is, that's the number of entities within that database. So if you tap on the number, you can take a look at what's in there. Let me see. Can you? I used to be able to look at all those things that are in there.
Yeah, I thought I had.
There we go. Okay, so when you tap on the database itself, there's a little arrow on the far right of the app. Tap on that, and it says either start analysis or further info on this database. Tap on that. So then it gives you a description of everything that's in there, and it's in alphabetical order. So if we take a look at the second one from the top, it is in there. Oh wait, no, it's different. It's a different acid. It is a different, you know what? I can actually share my screen. We can take a look at that. How about that? That'll be good.
Yeah.
Let's bring, I'll bring my device online here and we'll take a look at that. So what I like to show you guys is some principles. You can see how to list out everything that's in that database. And that's a simple way to do that. So I'll just kind of run through that real quick here. Give me a second. Is there another question you guys want to dive into while I'm pulling this up?
No, well, I guess are we referring to the vital substances or creative homeopathy?
Well, essential elements, it's the essential elements program was the question.
Yeah.
But I was looking in the vital substances database. So if we go to essential, let's see, asking about the essential elements program. I don't know. I mean, let me find this. Let me get my phone online here, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, we'll share screen here. I guess I'm confused by the essential elements. That's referring to a different database.
Right. So if you would, Laura, take a look at the program you're talking about. Is this in the, are you seeing this in the pink app, the blue app? Does it actually say essential elements? So take a look and see.
She's saying
'Cause
vital substances.
In vital substances? Okay.
Yeah. So vital substances. So that's different. That is different. We do have vital substances. That's a database. I'm going to bring my, let me see. I'm going to bring my device online here.
Because we did it after Ken shares the screen. We did a training on all the resonance databases back in September 2023. It was on Healy for Beginners and Beyond. And we actually showed on the screen what Ken's going to show you, but every single entry in every single database are listed there. So that's a good reference if you want to just go back and see everything all together on sort of one presentation. It shows every single entry there. So here's Ken's.
Okay, so here it is. Let's go back all the way to the beginning. So here's what you see when you first open the Blue app, right? Okay, you see the different databases and the different functions in which this app will do. And then if you scroll down, you see down about the third one from the top, it says resonance database analysis. Click on the plus button. Okay. So then you've got these, this is your selection criteria. Here's the things you can choose from. At the bottom is vital substances. And you see in parentheses there, the number I mentioned, 76. That means every time you see a number next to any one of these databases, that's how many entities or items are in that database. You see there, look at creative homeopathy. Oh my gosh, 347 different items in there. So when you do a scan on one of these, the higher the number of entities within that database, the longer the scan is going to take. Why? Well, it's going through 347 different items to find out the top 5 for you. But at the bottom, vital substances, tap on the arrow on the far right, it goes over to here. So we can either do an analysis on me, or at the bottom there's further info on this database. Tap on that. And now you'll see a list of everything that's all those 76 items that you saw. And you can take a look at what essential items are in there. You see that? Okay. Or what vital substances, however you want to call it. All right. Okay. Any questions there? Jake, you want to add anything to that?
No, it's very helpful to know that there is more information, a complete listing of the databases there. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, it's a good stuff. Okay. What's next? Next question. Will MagHealy programs ever be included in the HealAdvisor app? The HealAdvisor app. Well, so
I think she's referring to search in the search module.
Probably this. I'm thinking maybe the search, because it is in the HealAdvisor Analyse app. All the MagHealy programs are there. You just saw when I gave you that list of databases, the second one from the top was a resonance grouping or database just for MagHealy. So, but if you're talking about the HealAdvisor Search, that's a good question. Is there something on the horizon for?
Not that I know of. You know, there is, as you mentioned, you can search specifically for the MagHealy databases in the Analyse app. So that really is the best place to go as far as if you want to find out which MagHealy program could benefit you the most at that particular time. But yeah, it's a good idea. It's definitely worth sending some feedback to the team. But as far as I know, there's no plans in the near future to add that to the search function of the search module in the HealAdvisor app.
And I could see the practicality of that because, if you're looking for a specific condition and you're trying to just hone in on what the MagHealy can provide, yeah,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
if you're looking at analyzing a person, then the resources within the MagHealy programs will be the criteria or the bandwidth in which that search or which that analysis is based on. But a little bit different, right? A little bit different when you're doing a analysis versus a search. I get it. So
Yeah.
yeah, that'd be cool. You put that in the suggestion box, right? There is that within our devices, right? Within the apps, you can put a suggestion in there. That's always helpful. Okay. So in Dongni's hard at it right here, answering some questions. So, but in regards to about the MagHealy, is it enough to put it on number 2? I'm assuming you're talking about the number 2 setting on the selector switch, or does it have to be on number 3? And this is a good question in terms of functionality, right?
Yeah.
And so and Dongni put some content in there. What position 1, 2, and 3 mean? Number 1 is basically off. Number 2 is on with, and then number 3 is on with all the lights, right? So you can have that visual kind of thing, and you can see the LED ring doing its thing. So yeah, and
Yeah.
so by the way, oh, go ahead, Jake.
No, there's no difference in the functionality of the benefits that you're receiving from the MagHealy if it's in 2 or 3. As Ken mentioned, it's just related to the lights. Depending on the setting that you're in, a lot of times it's nice to have those lights, especially now that it's kind of a softer, pulsating sort of slow moving light pattern there too. If you're out somewhere and you have it on the table running atmosphere programs, it kind of generates a lot of interest when those lights are on. So it certainly could help draw interest to someone else to ask you what exactly is that device that you're using there. But there is the option just to run it on position 2. You get a little bit better battery life because you're not powering those lights, but they don't use a lot of power. They're very efficient LEDs, so it's not like you're not saving an hour's worth of of battery life. But of course, it's nice to keep it in position 2 at nighttime. You don't want the extra lights on, that kind of thing. So
Especially like if you're sleeping, right? If you're
yeah,
using the sleep program or something at night in a dark room and you're trying to keep the illuminations down. So yeah, it's a great feature to be able to kick that off or on. So let's see what else we got. So there we go. Dongni's answering Jade's question about the battery reset. Folks, by the way, if you want to save the check, so there's some great content here that that Dongni is putting in there from the customer service and the Q&A stuff. Lots of great stuff. Down at the bottom of your screen where you're typing your message, next to the smiley face is 3 little dots. Tap on or click on those 3 little dots. It'll pop up an opportunity to save chat. And if you're on your PC or laptop, at the end of this call, there'll be a message pops up on your screen that says save chat. And then you'll have all this content for you. You can build yourself a little file, a little database about what you learned, and study it. All right. Let's see. So Jade's also asking, any tips to get the PDF to send in a text? Well, great question. But the problem with sending the content of a report, you're talking about the report within an analysis, right? They're not a small file. And so depending on the operating system you're running, whether it's Android or iOS, like iOS has a bigger bandwidth if you're going from iOS or Apple to Apple, right? But if you're going from Apple to Android, not necessarily the same case. So trying to text that file gets to be big. I mean, I don't really have a lot of suggestions for that. Jake?
no, I mean, after you export the PDF, you can pull up the option to save it to your smart device, save it to somewhere in the clouds, or email or text it directly from there. You just have to click that to the right of the file name. There's a box with an arrow pointing up. That's what you click. You'll click on that, and that will pull up your whatever normal sort of messaging options you have on your smart device. It'll pull up that standard thing, and it'll show you the option to email, text, save, that kind of thing. So if for some reason you're having trouble texting it, you can try maybe saving it first to your smart device or to the cloud, and then do your text messaging like you normally do, send a text and add it through that. Maybe there's something else going on your smart device where it's preventing that. I don't know. But it could just be a local issue on your particular device, or, worst case, just you can go ahead and email it too.
Yeah, texting just gives it's got a narrower bandwidth of and file size for transfer. Unlike if you're iOS to iOS and you're airdropping something, the airdrop has a bigger bandwidth, but that you have to be in proximity, right? You have to be next to. So, but yeah, texting, it like I said, though, iOS does have a wider bandwidth. Jake's suggestion, by the way, of downloading that and saving it to your cloud or to your like your Google Drive or maybe even your Dropbox, because then you can send a link, right, from that Google Drive or Dropbox in a text to somebody, and they'd be able to access it from your Google Drive or Dropbox, right? So that's another way of working around that. But also, as Jake mentioned, when you click on that little box with the arrow in it, it's going to pull up, like you said, the things that are activated on your smart device. So if you've got a brand new smart device and you haven't activated your emails, it's not going to pull it up. You're not going to be able to email it either. So you got to make sure your smart device is set up and functional with all these different messaging and transfer modalities, right? So that's another thing to consider. All right. I love it. Good questions. So that the question about the position 3 on the MagHealy looks like it was relative to the thinking that the McMakin programs needed to be in position 3, and that's not true. Even the McMakin dual channel program transmissions can still be done in position 2. Position 2 and 3 both activate all the functions of the magnetic transmission, or AKA the emission of those frequencies. Okay, both positions do that. One just adds a nice light show.
Yeah, and thank you, Dongni. You're, on top of everything today. But she put in exactly what I was about to say. Really, the only difference with position 3 with McMakin is that instead of one color light on the side, there's 2 colors, blue and the greenish color versus just green. So that's really it. It's not a requirement. It's completely optional if you want to put it in position 3. So
Love it. Love it. Okay. Let's see. So here's another one about Bluetooth, and Dogny's all over this stuff, so thank you. Talking about 2 of my 3 Healys could not find Bluetooth today, and elsewhere my downline had same problem. She'd never gotten her Healy Blue app to work. How can we resolve? So Bluetooth connections, this is an individual. Well, we got to consider the device, the smart device you're using. All right. And it's vintage as well as its memory. How many things are running at the same time with your smart device? How many? So if you don't know how to hard close an app on your smart device, I guarantee you too many things are running at the same time. Resources start to run low, and connectivity problems could be that. Now, the other thing is I'm sure that Dongni's putting in the list of FAQs here. One of the things, if someone has turned off the Bluetooth on the app, within the app, then there's a certain process to turn that back on in order to re-engage your smart device, right? There's a certain process to do that. If you don't know what that is, then that could be the issue. If you've turned the Bluetooth off manually in the app, right, that shuts off the Bluetooth chip kind of digitally, right, within the hardware. And you have to actually hit the start button twice, on twice, in order to reactivate that. So, okay.
Yeah, Dominic put some helpful links in there as well related to troubleshooting Bluetooth. And there's actually, in addition to that, there's actually a video in Academy in the Healy app section entirely on troubleshooting. So there's some tips in there also related to troubleshooting Bluetooth issues.
Good stuff. I'll tell you what, that Academy is rock
Yeah,
solid.
let me see if I have that up here. I'll just share it while we're on this topic. I think I need to log back in, but let's see here.
And Jade's asking, can we chat in the everyone so it can be seen? Yeah. So by the way, guys, if you're sending a message within the chat system, and if you've got it clicked to one particular person in the group here, all your messages are only going to go to them. So you need to click on the everyone tab so that if you're trying to get your messages to go out, I get this sometimes. Somebody will private message me and then they forget. And then every other message they send just goes directly to me, right? So let's, just click on the everyone tab.
So this is just, so if you're in academy.healy.world, go to products, click on Healy, and there's a couple of videos. If you scroll down a bit, one is called Quick Check Troubleshooting that has some great tips, and then also there's an entire one just on the Bluetooth connection. So if you're having any Bluetooth connection issues, definitely check this one out because there might be some things in there that will help you sort of figure out what's going on with your particular situation there.
Yeah, you guys, I highly recommend, and this is what I talk to all my teammates and customers, is that to spend some time every day in the academy. Go to Healy School, and that's exactly why you're there. And by the way, there are some certificates you can earn by some of the courses that are there, right? And you can get a certificate to download and print and put up on your wall, like, look at what I did, right? Those are great to do because you actually have to know something and answer the questions. So, the brain learns through specific challenges. And if we're just always asking the question and somebody's just giving us the answer, there's this, we're not really teaching anybody to fish. We're just giving them a fish. Here you go. Right. So I always tell everybody, but we're here, of course, this is why we're here, is to help you guys and guide you guys, but spend some time in Healy School.
Yeah.
I remember when I first started, by the way, the academy was required training. Just a little FYI. Required training.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were like 6 modules or something like that, and you had to pass a test. Great. I mean,
yeah. Thank you, Domini, for putting the link to Academy there. Appreciate that.
I love it.
I think we're caught up right now.
We are caught up. Anything new coming up, Jake? What any little sneak peek?
Well, let's talk about next Tuesday, actually. So normally we do Healy for Beginners and Beyond once a month, and it's almost always, I think it's always been on a Thursday. But next Tuesday, February 20th, happens to be National Love Your Pet Day. So we are going to do a special episode of Healy for Beginners and Beyond, 3 p.m. Eastern time on February 20th on Tuesday. on how to use your Healy with animals. And Ken Close will be on the call with us. Doc Steve will be on the call with us with his cute little dog Teddy. And I'll have my two dogs on the call, Lexi and Charlie. And we also have our Sonia Charita, who was on Healy for Beginners and Beyond in December. We did that group resonance analysis. We're going to do something similar with a group analysis on all the pets that will be on the call. So I want to set a world record for the largest number of pets in each of the individual Zoom windows. I want to look out and see a screen of 100 different pets, dogs and cats and bunny, whatever you have, snakes, iguanas, whatever the case, horses, elephants, whatever. It's going to be a lot of fun. So we're gonna try that out, and we'll go through, a quick overview of the basics related to the animal module, where to get more information, the presentation that's available, some of the resources on the Healy World official page on YouTube. There's a lot of great videos and interviews related to that. And then we'll just explain some of the key things to know when using microcurrent with animals, the coil with animals, doing any sort of analysis via the Analyse app with animals, and then also the MagHealy with animals, whether you're using the animal harmony program or informing water to be used with your pets too, which is a great, really great option as well for, every day to give your pet some MagHealy informed water, which is really cool too. So you can register for that at I'll put the link here. It's healyfbb.com. That will take you right to the page to register for it, and then you'll be good to go for 3 p.m. Eastern on February 20th. And I'm not a pet expert, but we have people on the call that have more experience using Healy with their pets and with other animals too. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm just, it makes me smile trying to picture all these pets that'll be on the screen instead of all of our faces here. You're going to just see a bunch of pets watching. So.
That would be awesome. How many pets can you get in one screen? And then what's the most exotic pet that we can have on the screen, right?
Like maybe we can do a giveaway for the most exotic pet.
Like you mentioned an elephant. What? Right.
Yeah.
Somebody, an elephant. Woohoo. Maybe. A giraffe.
Yeah. Oh, and also I was going to mention this on What's Up Wednesday tomorrow, but for those of you that can't make that call live, we're asking people to send a picture of their pet to americas@healy.world. That's one of our email addresses. But basically, we want a picture of your pet, and then also hold up from 1 to 5, essentially, any sort of issues your pet might be dealing with, whether it's emotional issues, physical issues, with 5 being the most extreme. What on the scale, what they're kind of dealing with right now. So if there's a picture of your pet and it has some lingering, I don't know, some pain or anxiety, stress, that kind of thing, take a picture of them, send it in with holding up, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. With your hand, you don't have to use the pet's hand to hold that up. Be a little bit harder to tell, but we're gonna kind of consolidate, combine all those images together along with the group picture we're going to take on the call, and then we're going to do an analysis for all of those as well via the Analyse app.
Isn't that great? You don't even have to be there. So this is the cool thing about quantum entanglement. And we've talked about that before, because you don't have to be there in space and time. Quantum entanglement is intention, right? And so by placing that picture out there with a number, and it's like you said, just holding up your, a number with your fingers, 1 to 5. So this is the severity of your pet issue, whatever the issue, right? So it's on a scale of 1 to 5. This is the severity. If it's just a little bit, that's 1. If it's really bad, it's a 5, right? So you hold up your hand with that number. You got your pet there. You got the picture. Bam, right? Isn't that great?
Yeah.
Yeah, and there you go. Jake's got the email address in the chat there, you guys. So awesome. Let's see. And so the link in there for the Healy for Beginners and Beyond. If you can't make it live, then now you know how to email that content. Awesome.
But yes, we hope as many of you as possible can join us live. And we'll definitely have a recording available after on our YouTube channel at HealyAmericas.com.
Okay. So let's see. So Jenna's got a question about, isn't it true that the animal app is available for life until February?
Yeah, that is true. Thank you for for reminding all of us. It was a great promo going. Normally the animal module is a monthly subscription, but for the month of February, you can buy it at a one-time price and have access to it for life. So
Isn't that great? So just in time for what?
exactly.
The Healy for Beginners and Beyond.
How better to treat your pet on National Love Your Pet Day than to have a lifetime of frequency specifically for pets.
Yes, and they are different, by the way, you guys. There's a whole grouping of programs just for pets. So it's not like you're getting a modified human thing. No, these are just for pets. So not the same as the other ones you have. They're unique. Okay. Let's see here. And Jenna also asked a question about how do you read the info in the coaching app, for example, that LX stuff. So, and Dongni's put some content in there. There's again another great video. And by the way, within the app itself, when you see the reading, if you tap on that, that reading is actually an expandable window. So in other words, I know it doesn't really, you can't really tell sometimes, but if you tap on some of the content, like for instance, those findings, it expands into a definition of what they mean. But also, like I said, within the academy, there's a great training in there.
Yeah, that's the video that I always point people back to. It doesn't list every single code, but essentially it gives you the overview of things that are in the foreground versus the background. So things that you're kind of experiencing right now versus something in your subconscious.
Now think about what foreground and background means. What does it mean? Foreground, it's right in front of your face, right in front of you. So in other words, this is conscious conditions, things you're aware of, right? And then the background are subconscious or things you're not aware of. This is, things that are perhaps ancestral or even things that are just not, you're not aware and you're not even working on them, right? So foreground, and we could even liken it to acute, which is in your face and something to focus on right now, versus systemic, which is like the entire universal system of you wide, right? So the bigger picture or subconscious side. Okay. All right. Great questions, by the way, tonight, you guys. I love it. And thank you for being here, by the way. I mean, we're here because you're here. So if this is beneficial, tell your friends. If there's somebody out there that's struggling, get them on here. Let's help them out. Because also, by the way, you guys, when you submit a customer service ticket and maybe, I don't know, something's not getting solved or whatever, you bring it here too. And because the customer service rep that's here can access that in real time, give us a little bit more insight.
Yeah, it's great, Ken. What we have now, the resources that we have, usually in the past, we kind of had to explain everything on our own. Now there's almost every question we can point people, oh, we have a resource for this, we have a resource for this, go to Academy for this, go to YouTube for this, go, whatever for this. So it's
I love it. It's so, yeah, the expansiveness. And then I saw a comment earlier that says, what we have now versus what we had, and then is like crazy. I mentioned that before. Here's a great one. Dory's asking, does the animal program work for birds? Yeah, it works for birds. It works for, I mean, all kinds of animals, whether they're water animals, air animals, land animals.
Yeah, that was actually, we were gonna again touch on that briefly next week on Healy for Beginners and Beyond, but there was a survey done, it was, I think it's last summer when we kind of relaunched the animal module, but it was what types of animals you use the animal module on. And of course, the most popular were dogs, cats, and horses. But there was also people that said they use it on birds, fish, reptiles, amphibians, so all kinds of a tortoise. Yeah, yeah, anything.
Just works slower on the tortoises. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No, it's the same. It's the same across the board. It's energy. Everything is energy. The fun part about energy is when it comes to shifting that energy, frequency is what does it, right? Or the separation between one energy form and another is it's frequency. So whether it has let me paint a little bit of a picture. Now, one of the expansions on Kathy's tortoise question there was the hard shell. So think about it this way. Frequencies penetrate the entity through all spaces. So in other words, a frequency goes omnidirectionally. So the shell is perhaps it requires specific, I don't know, alignments. Maybe it's cracked. Maybe there's some problems with it. But also the eyes, the mucous membranes, the mouth, the air that living being is breathing, all of that is portals or areas in which this information gets through. Healy works on the information field, the electron field level. Okay. Magnetic energy is, like I said, omnipresent, but it is a field of transmission, and it's within the electron field. So here's the cool thing. Let's say the shell of a tortoise, and it's got some solid mass to it, right? But guess what? If you break that down and you keep looking at the tinier and tinier and tinier, it's nothing but vibration. It is not a solid structure the further you go down. By the time you get down to the electron level, it's just a moving, vibrating field of information. And so is the magnetic signals going to it from Healy. You see that? So there really isn't except for some like lead or heavy materials, copper, things like that, right?
Yeah.
But organic matter, no, it's going to speak to it. All right. Okay. What else we got? Some more. Let's see. So for meridian clock programs, do you use MagHealy or a natural cycle only? Can you use other programs in the Pink app? So when we're looking at the natural cycle, or okay, let's go to meridian clock. So the meridians within these bodies are communications channels between organs, right? Pathways through the body that move information. Okay. Our systems go on and off, over 400 systems on and off based on the circadian rhythm. Okay. Light influences through optic, the eye and optic influences, as well as the energy, the UV or the radiant energy from the sun, and even night. By the way, the absence of light doesn't mean the absence of activity. It just means a different activity. So, so natural cycle is one built to be in rhythm with that, and it's pertinent to the circadian rhythm you're in and what hemisphere, because that does change what you're exposed to. But you can use other programs to enhance functions of systems, right? With the Meridian programs, you can speak to the liver, speak to the heart, speak to the pancreas, speak to different systems, and you can, I want you guys to understand the intelligence is in the body. The body is the intelligence. Every cell in your body, okay, 100 trillion cells in your body, they are individually intelligent. And every living system in your body is connected to a very higher divine intelligence. 800,000 cells per second are turning over in your body. Are you doing that? No, you're not, right? It's an intelligence that's orchestrating that entire system. So Healy just accents or clears pathways for functionality. Okay. It doesn't, it is a objective intelligence. Objective. Your body and its intelligence is subjective, right? It's you, and each cell has its own purpose. So Healy just objectively looks at you and finds what's best suited to align your structures. So can you use different programs with a natural cycle? Absolutely. The body's going to sort it out. Okay. Does that make sense? Hopefully.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay. Back to the MagHealy, and we just talked about informing your water with frequencies, as a possibility for your pets, and of course for yourself as well. But the question was, is there a report that shows the water structure under the microscope of sorts before activation and after activation? So not like a actual microscope, but we have a resource that explains the science behind the MagHealy water application. And again, as we just mentioned, we have a resource for that. Healy Academy, go to the MagHealy. So instead of going to the Healy page, go up to products, go to MagHealy, or just click MagHealy from the menu on the left, scroll down, and then you'll see here MagHealy water application, and there's some visuals. It's not a microscope, but it's some visuals that show, water molecules that aren't organized, and then water organized in coherent domains after basically the application of frequencies to it. So there's some other information, some science behind it related to some of the scientists that have worked on this and contributed to that. The video is just a couple of minutes long, but certainly if you're interested in more information on this topic, definitely worth checking out.
Absolutely.
And actually, this particular video can be shared. So I'll actually copy this link here, and I'll post it in the chat. So
I love it. And by the way, guys, don't forget to save the chat. You see, these links will be right there in that file you save.
yeah.
Okay. So definitely check it out. So there's a question about in here about the clips, and some of them are broken on certain, and I understand that's happened. And then a question about the lanyard in the case that I have went around my neck. This is something that was made. This is not factory. It was made, that the Healy can clip into. And then I could wear it around my neck. You could search like Healy cases. You can even go to, I don't know, I think even YouTube, there's some stuff. But this was basically, this was laser printed and created that way. But like Dongni said, submit a ticket with your serial number and see what can be done for your device as far as repairing that clip. Or if the cabinet itself, which is the Healy case, the cabinet is broken where the pin goes in, you can replace the hardware. Just you can buy a new hardware piece. Again, that's through customer service. Okay, so it's not as much as what you paid for the whole thing, the whole package, because you're just changing out the hardware, not your entire programming. Okay. All right. Yeah, what else we got? And you know, you guys, when you start studying water, oh my gosh, there's so much great information out there about water and how we're activating water through frequency. And the most basic of studies that was done, many of you have heard of Dr. Yamoto, who did some water studies by just exposing water to sound, songs, abusive language, whatever, and then freezing it and looking at the crystals and the formulation of what those crystals are, the different formulations based on the exposure of sound. Now, we've gone a lot further than that in giving it very specific frequencies known to have influence on the program's purpose. So in other words, let's say it is fitness, right? And you can put content in the water around some fitness activity. So that's a really cool understanding, because we're informing water, and water has many attributes, from a memory to the ability to structure it. It holds information. So frequencies are a great way to put information into the water.
Yep.
Okay, how are we doing it? Are we keeping up? And Dongni's got it all handled for us. And we'll just sit back and
Yeah, we'll just have Dong to answer the rest of the questions for the next 13 minutes.
I love it. No, I so much appreciate this support and what we can do now. And you guys, we're here every week. So and these are recorded and then categorized and then posted on the YouTube channel. If you don't know about the YouTube channel, Healy Americas on our Healy World Americas is the YouTube channel, but and there are playlists, everything from, there's Tech Tip Tuesday playlist, there's a What's Up Wednesday playlist. There's some cool little pieces that some things that customer service has created videos and put in there. There's so much content. Okay. Thank you for the kudos and the appreciations, you guys. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. We got about 12 minutes left, you guys. Looks like Marjorie's put a recommendation for the necklace and the case in the chat. So again, helpful stuff there, guys.
Yep.
Thank you. I love it when the audience participation is in there too. This is a community. This is a family, guys. This is a family show. What's your burning questions, anybody? Okay, so Dory says, I wish the natural cycle programs would say what they are without having to look them up on the meridian clock. Okay. So again, suggestion box. Suggestion box. Put these great ideas into the suggestions on the app itself. You can go into the app and actually make suggestions. Okay. And what's the difference when one vibrates the MagHealy Meridian analysis versus running individual meridian? Well, so vibration versus, let's say if you're talking about the meridian from the Pink app. So again, remember the Pink app, what's it doing? It has its purpose is to guide the Healy's microcurrent output. Okay, Healy has a frequency transmitter inside that it's like a radio station sending the frequencies out into free space, no matter what, right? But it also has a microcurrent circuitry within it that is the carrier wave that piggybacks, I should say the frequencies piggyback on the microcurrent modality. So, and the way the microcurrent is transmitted is either the electrodes and the wires or the coil, and converting that same microcurrent into magnetic energy. All right. So, the analysis process and using the Blue app, it does not engage the microcurrent. It does not turn on that part of the circuit of the Healy. It only uses the vibrational mechanism or frequency transmission mechanism. And because the analysis is connected to a client, right? You're sending this information to a client. Now we have quantum entanglement, meaning that even though the signal that's being transmitted out of the Healy, the radio transmission, I guess you might say, frequency, has a limited range, but because we're connected to a client, the quantum entanglement is universal. It's not limited by space or time. So it is an intention work sent from the hardware into the quantum field to connect to the destination or client. So it's a bit different, right? We're talking about a couple of different modalities, and we've covered this in a few different trainings. And one was Healy for beginners and beyond, right? We talked about quantum entanglement.
Yeah.
So definitely get on board with some of those trainings. Go and take a look, and it may not be obvious in the beginning as to how it differentiates between the microcurrent and the transmission frequencies versus the analysis app. But as you start to listen to what we're talking about in terms of quantum entanglement, you listen to the ways that we've explained the differences between microcurrent, the analysis, and the coil or MagHealy. We've talked about all that, and as you listen to those explanations, you'll get a picture.
Yeah, and I guess, sort of not specifically microcurrent, but for example, with the new Meridian module, if you do that analysis, which takes place in the Analyze app, and of course, you can vibrate those results via the MagHealy with those two resonance sensors there, versus what you would do if you just went to the MagHealy and ran a single Meridian program. So not the microcurrent, just the traditional way you would use a MagHealy essentially, but it's similar to what you just said as far as the difference.
Right. Where the MagHealy, remember, is a magnetic system, right? When it's transmitting physically, it's transmitting magnetic frequencies or magnetic energy in waves of frequencies. And it's got two transmitters that can do two frequencies at the same time if the program has activated that, or you can do one at a time. Now, MagHealy also does an analysis, right? So with the analysis function, it now is doing a quantum entanglement creation, right? So, I get the question about, well, what's more effective? Again, the body is the intelligence. So in some cases, quantum entanglement tends to be more effective because it is looking at the blueprint of the living life form or the blueprint of the client and shifting that content. And once you shift the blueprint in the quantum field, matter starts to change form. Okay. It is the quantum field that through a conscious understanding creates matter. And Einstein said it himself, with the observer effect is required for the waveform to solidify into particle. And that's exactly how MagHealy is working with the analysis engine and Healy is working with the analysis engine. Same kind of idea. Okay. Let's see. So here's a question Kathy's asking. Oh, what are the numbers after the program in creative homeopathy? So again, we mentioned that earlier in our talk, and Dongni's right spot on it. The number afterwards, 347, or any other database that has a number after it. And that's, again, that's the number of items in that database. And you click on that arrow that it expands that, and you can go and look at all those items and read what each one of those 347 items are. And you're like, wow. I mean, I guarantee you your mind will be blown. I guarantee you. There's a lot of content in there. Okay, so not that number, not the number after. She says, not that number. Okay, so D29. Oh, are you talking about the version number? Depends on where you're looking in this, in the app. Let's see. The question was, what are the numbers after the program in creative homeopathy program? So again, I showed you on the screen. I'm not sure where you're at. Jake, you got any input there?
No, I was gonna pull it up and do an analysis, but that's one of the ones that takes the longest.
Yeah, because there's so much
Because
content.
there's so many entries in the database. But
So under desired state, the numbers.
yeah, I'm trying to remember. I thought we had a resource related to this, but
Yeah,
where
I don't personally know what the numbers are that
yeah.
are after each one of those. That would be a great research project. Let's see what we can find.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now, so Kathy says there used to be a chart.
Yeah, I'm wondering if this is related to the traditional dilution chart in traditional homeopathy, but you know, similar to how there's the D, C, and LM results there, but I would need to confirm some more related to that.
Yeah, that's a great question. We'll have to get back to that and
Yeah.
see if we can figure that one out.
So there was a feedback on, so that the link to the video that I posted on how to, or the information on informing water via the MagHealy, that is running in German. How to switch to English. I on my computer it comes up in English, so I wonder if it's some sort of language setting in Vimeo for your particular browser. But for me, even if it's in Academy, or even if I copy and paste that link into a browser, it comes up in English. So I'm trying to see if there's a setting, a language setting possibly in the video itself that you might have to switch. But yeah.
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, if it depends on where you're looking at it. Normally the location settings gives the area where you're at, and
Yeah.
if you're on your mobile device and you have location settings off, maybe it's going to the default, which will be German.
Yeah, I mean there are language settings for your browser, and yeah, like Ken said, it typically will default based off where you're located. But you could check, maybe for some reason you need to force it for this particular one, or learn German, and there you go. So, no, but yeah, there should be a way to change that somewhere.
Okay. And Dongni's on it with the answer to Kathy about what that number is. Again, the code mentioned represents the potency within that dilution. But yeah, so there's some more content there. All right, guys. We are at the end of our hour, by the way. If you guys found value in the chat, please save that chat. Of course, the recording will be available for the audio, but the chat's not in there. So if some of the postings, the links, all that kind of stuff, if you're on a mobile device, sorry, you won't be able to save it. But if you're on your laptop or computer, click on those three little dots down there next to the smiley face in your chat box, and then you'll have that option to be able to save the chat at the end of the call. All right, guys. And then Jake just put your link in there for you, Trudy. So quick, save it.
Yep.
Okay, you guys. Well, hey, thanks for being here. Thank you, Jake. Thank you, Dongni. You guys rock. I so much appreciate the assistance, and I love hosting these, and having you guys as co-hosts are rock solid. So, like I said, tell a friend. See you all next week. Bye for now.
Thanks, everyone.